Hello, welcome to Judge Jar's podcast. I'm your host, Justin. It's an early morning today. I had a little bit of a crappy morning in more ways than one. Yeah, but what can you do? So today we're gonna do a special showcase where I'm gonna show off my various Marvel space comics. I have no idea what I'm gonna title this video, but we'll figure it out. It's the thing where like I'm not running out of books of characters to talk about in my showcases, but it's the thing where like I have a bunch of books that are like are all like related, but like they're not part of the same run. So I figured, oh, why don't I just make a showcase where I show off my Marvel space books, because I really love the Marvel space universe, how they handle their cosmic stuff. It's really cool, man. They have some really cool space comic characters. So the first one we're gonna talk about is Nova, and this is Nova Annihilation Conquest Volume 1 by this collects. Sorry, this is by Dan Abnett and Andy Landing. Their names are not on the cover, which love the cover for this, by the way. Yeah. So Dan Abnett used to work for Warhammer 40K, by the way. And artists on this book are Sean Chen and Scott Hanna with Brian Dunham, and the cover art is by Addie Grenoff. But the inside art looks pretty cool. So this character Nova is basically Marvel's answer to Green Lantern, to the point where there's even a Nova Corps, which they nerfed the hell in the movies. Which I get why they did that, because if the Nova Corps had their powers like they did in the books, then you wouldn't really need a Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Because they're kind of like, they're pretty weak compared to the Nova Corps, right? But like the less Nova Corps members there are, the more powerful the survivors remain, because their power all their power comes from the same source. So that might be how they explain away the Nova movie, which there's supposed to be a Nova movie. So Nova, for people who don't know, is Richard Ryder, aka Dick Ryder, from Long Island, New York. How they came up with that name, oh my god. Who is chosen to be a member of the Nova Corps not because he's special or he has strong will or anything like that, is because he's extremely normal and doesn't have like hubris. So they want people who don't have like high egos in the Nova Corps, right? Which is what they explained in this book. Which I think in this book, did they give like a origin story, or is that in the next book? I don't remember. Gamora is in this book, by the way, and so is Drax. And Gamora is looking sexy as hell. Nova and Gamora used to date, if you didn't know. And there's some cool variant covers with Gamora. Fucking hell. So yeah, that's the first book. We have a lot of books, so we can't spend too much time on this. This is rated T for Teen Plus, and it's, oh my god. I got this for $10, by the way, but normally back in the day when this came out, it was 18 US, 29 Canadian. Oh my god, Marvel. Thank god I didn't have to pay full price for this back in the day. So the next book is Volume 2. It's Nova Nowhere, which collects issues 8 through 12, and Nova Annual 1, written by Dan Abnett, Andy Landing, and illustrated by Wellington Alves. and Mahmoud ASR, Krebs, and Paul Peltier, I guess, if that's French. And if you're looking at French last names, if there's a T, if there's like a T-I-E-R, you're supposed to pronounce that as lay, so I guess that's L-lay. I don't know. This is not as overpriced. It's 17 US, 18 Canadian. So what is it? Was that a misprint on the other one? I don't know. So this was a cool book, and you also have Nowhere, which Nowhere is a special place in the Marvel space universe where it's like the severed head of a Celestial, which the Celestials are like space gods that were introduced into the Marvel universe in the Eternals, I think, if I remember correctly, which the Eternals were created by Jack Kirby. They were like the Marvel's version of the New Gods, which they already had their own version of New Gods because Jim Starlin ripped off Jack Kirby, and then like Jack Kirby was like, "Fuck you, man! I'm gonna make I'm gonna make Marvel's own version of the New Gods, and I'm not gonna rip off Darkseid like you did, asshole." Which Thanos is a cool character, but it's like, holy fuck, dude! I can't believe he ripped off. Because I thought Thanos was created by Jack Kirby, and then it's like, Jim Sterling just ran with the character, but no, he created Thanos and ripped off, Yeah, so this book is pretty cool. I think you get the origin story in this one, because he's wearing his old uniform. And some of the, yeah. So this was a cool book. Alright. So the next book is Guardians of the Galaxy, which I love this cover. It's called Legacy, Volume 1 by Dan Abnett and Andy Landing again, which, they did a lot of the space stuff in the mid-2000s. A rip-roaring, side-splitting romp of a book that should be missed, which I really love this book because, you had, like, though, like, some of the characters are wearing uniforms and some of them don't, but their outfits still all clash together, which I really love the uniforms, which they got rid of. Which, this book is drawn by Paul Pellier and Rick McGar from Captain America, I guess. It doesn't say the Canadian price, but it says 17 US. You probably have to pay more for this nowadays. This is T+. Great book, love the cover art, and the lineup for this team is Star-Lord, who lost his powers. Yes, Star-Lord used to have superpowers, if people didn't know. You got Rocket Raccoon, you got Drax the Destroyer, you got, I think that's Quasar, who's like a lesbian female Captain Marvel. Yeah, they revealed that in the second volume. She was a lesbian with Drax's daughter, Moondragon. Which, I don't get how Drax could be related to Moondragon when she was all, like, because, like, he still had his old form back when Moondragon was still around, when she was a member of the Avengers, but I don't know. I guess. So you got Drax, Quasar, Adam Warlock in a really cool costume. He lost the cape, but he still looks cool, and you got Gamora. And Groot is there, but Groot is like a plant. It's not in the second volume where he joins the team. So in this volume, which is War of Kings Book 1, which I never got the War of Kings Book 2, which is a tie into the War of Kings space crossover event where you had like the Inhumans went to space or tried to conquer the universe. I don't fucking know. I never got the War of Kings books because at the time they were like super expensive. Even though the crossover event had been over, the individual books were expensive, and they hadn't had like the trades yet. Which the trades are out now, so I can probably get them. But yeah, that's the thing. If I were to read War of Kings, I would have to read this stuff again. So this book is I paid 23 bucks for this book, which collects issues 7 through 12. Written by Dan Ammett, Andy Lemmy again. Art by Paul Pittode and Brad Walker, Wesley Craig. Guardians of the Galaxy War Kings Book 1, like I said. The lineup for this book is Rocket Raccoon, Groot, Star-Lord's here too. Who is this guy? You have this Captain America looking dude. I don't know who that is. Major Victory, okay. Major Victory, and you have the Psychic Mantis chick, I forget her name, Bug, and you got Groot. A lot of the members of the old team left because Peter Quill, aka Star-Lord, tricked them to join the team, so they were like a little pissed off at that. So that's why you have new members in this book. Which Major Victory, I think, used to be a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy back in the day, which I don't have any of the old Guardians of the Galaxy books. I plan on picking some up. So the next book, which was overpriced as fuck, in my opinion, is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 Cosmic Avengers by Brian Michael Bendis, Steve McNiven, and Sarah Pichelli, which collects Guardians of the Galaxy's 2013 issues 1 through 3 and 0.1, and Guardians of the Galaxy Tomorrow's Avengers 1. So like 5 issues in this hardcover, and I paid basically 30 bucks for this book. Like, it's like 28 Canadian, but like, you know, taxes. This was a huge ripoff, in my opinion. And what I really hate about this book, it's like, one, for some reason they thought it was necessary to have Iron Man join the team, which, you know, not a huge fan of that. So, and this lineup is the lineup from the movies where you have Peter Quill, Star-Lord, Groot, Rocket Raccoon, Gamora, and Drax. Which Gamora, they changed her outfit to the point where, like, oh, she looks like more like the movies, and like pretty much all the characters look more like how they look in the movies. Which, you know, I'm not a huge fan of that. I loved the look they had in the 2000s. Why they changed the characters is because, you know, the movies, this is what I really hate about Marvel. Whenever they have a movie that does very well, they change the characters in the comics to make them look more like and act like more like how they did in the movies, even though they don't act like that. Like Drax is fine in the movies, but he doesn't act like a retard in the books, or the like idiots in the books, which you're not supposed to say the R word anymore. Which, you know, whatever. And I honestly, which he doesn't act dumb in the book, but like still, dude. And this book, even though I am kind of a fan of like Brian Michael Bendis, this book sucks, and I wouldn't recommend this to anybody. But if you want me to review it, I will. So, next is some Silver Surfer books, which, ironically enough, both these Silver Surfer books have two things in common. One, both covers have our characters in space, but both take place on Earth. Which I didn't know that at the time. Yeah, so the first Silver Surfer book I got is Communion, which has a really cool cover. Right, and it's volume 1, and it costs $15 US, 24 Canadian, so bad time for Canadians back then. Sorry, I had to sneeze. So this book is written by, it collects Silver Surfer 1 through 6, written by Dan Charlton, Stacy Weiss, illustrated by Len Medina Milks, and David Barden, and it's rated PSR, whatever that means. So this book sucks because it's basically X-Files, where it's about this black African American woman whose kid gets kidnapped by Silver Surfer, and she's trying to find, like, you know, trying to find her kid, trying to investigate aliens and whatnot. Everybody thinks she's crazy, even though aliens you know, have been a well-known thing on, like, Earth for a long time in the Marvel universe. One of their best superheroes is an alien. You know, like Captain Marvel was an alien, but like nobody takes her seriously. And it turned near the end of the book, you find out, like, you know, Silver Surfer kidnapped the kids because they're gonna help. He's working with other aliens, and they're gonna help. The kids are somehow going to help save the Earth, but from some kind of threat or whatever. Right? It's a thing where it has a really cool cover. Clearly doesn't take the cover. Like, you have this green little planetoid and this massive red planetoid. Clearly doesn't take place nowhere near Earth, but you know, they tricked your boy Justin. So the next book is Silver Surfer De-Evolution, which I think this came out in 2010. I bought this at a bookstore, so I don't have a sleeve for this, which makes it easier. It was 15 US, 17 Canadian. This came out, 2011, my bad. Silver Surfer 2011, 1 through 5, and you have the Fantastic Four in this book, back when, I think, when they had their white uniforms, and I guess, like, what's his name was dead. Johnny Storm, by the way, he was dead at the time, because, like, Spider-Man's on the team. So this book was pretty cool. It's written by Greg Pak. Art by Steven Segovia, Harvey Talibau, and Ivan Quell. Steven Segovia, I remember, is a great artist, or cool artist. So basically what this book is about is basically, Silver Surfer loses his powers and is on Earth and falls in love with somebody, and he has to basically get his powers back so he can save that person, right? So you've heard of these kind of stories before, but this book was I remember being pretty good. Though there's some questionable art in this book. Is Steven Segovia a good artist? I'm questioning it. Oh, by the way, this has somewhat of a liberal tint to it, because there's, like, you know, illegal, like, you have Mexican illegals trying to sneak into America, and I think the love interest in this book is a Mexican immigrant. I'm not 100% sure. Sorry, illegal. I could be wrong though. It's the thing where I remember liking this book, but I read this book, like, pretty much when it first came out. So it's been, like, this book is 10 years old, by the way. So yeah. So, but I would recommend it. I remember this being good. Next, I already reviewed this, is Warlock by Jim Starlin, the Complete Collection, which collects a bunch of, Adam Warlock books from the 70s, which I paid like $40 for this book. But I would say it was worth it. Collects Strange Tales 178 through 81, Warlock 1972 9 through 15, Avengers Annual 1967, what the fuck? Issue 7, and Marvel 2-in-1 Annual Issue 2, which came out in 1976. Yeah, this book is kind of weird, because, like, the dates on this book will jump like forward and backward, but, like, you read the book and it seems like it takes place linearly, so I don't know what the fuck is up with that, but whatever. But yeah, this was a pretty cool book. I did a review for this. So yeah, it's a thing where if you're going to read the next book I'm going to talk about, you really need to read Jim Starlin's run on Warlock and Captain Marvel, which I didn't. Which the next book we're talking about is the Infinity Gauntlet, which is like one of the few crossover Marvel crossover books that I own. Because most of the time, when I first started reading comics, I couldn't really. I was in high school, so I couldn't really afford the trade. So I would buy the single issues at the comic book stores, and then I would read the trades at the library, and they had pretty much everything. Like I read Civil War, Planet Hulk, all the Frank Miller Batman stuff, like House of M, New Avengers. I read like a lot of the mid to late aughts stuff at the public library. Even Blackest Night, that's where I read it. Which though I did, I think I had most of the Blackest Night books. I can't remember which are missing from my collection somehow. I don't know, man. So this book is pretty cool. But again, I read this book and I felt a little lost. Because like I said, it's the thing where I bought this book and read it years before I bought this book, Warlock by Jim Starlin. So I felt like really lost. It's the thing where I should have read this book before I read the Infinity Gauntlet, but you know, this is how it is what it is. So it's written by Jim Starlin with art by George Perez and Ron Lim. Which, when did this book first get published? Oh, I got a dog ear. Shit. I'm just checking. Wow, this is a thick book. Oh, this came out in 1991. Holy fucking! It looks so 80s. But yeah, 1991. That would explain why Thor has a beard. Yeah. Oh, U.S. Agent is in this book. Okay, that's cool. Or is mentioned. What is up with Captain Marvel's? Is that Captain Marvel? Why is he wearing a cape? Oh my god. So this was a cool book. The X-Men are wearing their X-Factor outfits, though. Not a fan of that, but it is what it is. Drax is still wearing his old outfit, and the Hulk is wearing a shirt. That's interesting. Nova's in the book too. That's cool. So yeah, this book is 25 US, 28 Canadian, and it collects issues 1 through 6 of Infinity Gauntlet, but it collects issues 1 from 6, but it's a super thick book. Like, it's like twice, it's almost like, no, it's not twice the length, it's not twice as wide as, like, Thanos Imperative, but almost just as much. Which, Thanos Imperative is the next book, which I haven't read. I haven't read this book yet, which collects issues. It collects the Thanos Imperative in Ignition, the Thanos Imperative 1 through 6, and the Thanos Imperative Devastation, written by Dan Abnett and Andy Landing, illustrated by Brad Walker and Miguel Sepulveda. So yeah. Oh my god, look at Captain Marvel. Is that Captain Marvel? I don't know, I don't like that haircut. So I've never read this book because I was going to read I was gonna try to read all the, you know, like all the Nova run and the Avengers run before I read this book, but I didn't, obviously. This is the last book, by the way. What's this book about? Thanos equals death. The dangerous cosmic fissure known as the Fault has ripped open a portal to the Marvel Universe, spilling out the demented forces of a horrific mirror universe where there is no death, and life prevails unchecked. The Cancerverse. From this dark realm, the evil Lord Marvel, a twisted version of the legendary Captain Marvel, leads his army to claim our universe for their own. Nova, the Silver Surfer, Quasar, Gladiator, and more of the greatest cosmic champions of the Marvel Universe rise to stop them. Wait, so that was a male version of Quasar? So like, Quasar was a lesbian. Did she just chose to? Did she become a man somehow or what? Oy vey. Yeah, where was I? That was weird. Sorry. I lost my place. Nova, the Silver Surfer, Quasar, Gladiator, and more of the greatest cosmic champions of the Marvel Universe rise to stop them. And when even they can't turn back the forces of the Cancerverse, the fate of the universe lies in the hands of the cosmos' never say die underdogs, the Guardians of the Galaxy. Facing a threat like none other, Star-Lord and company cook up an all-or-nothing plan to bring their prisoner, the Mad Titan Thanos, into the Cancerverse to unleash hell. When everything on the line should have been everything's on the line, but they didn't do that. They just put with everything on the line. With everything's on. Oh, I'm a retard. With everything, not everything's on the line. I don't know. Whatever. Everything on the line, the fate of the universe rests in the hands of one of Marvel's greatest villains. So, oh, they need Thanos to save the universe. Okay. Is that Beta Ray Bill at the back? No, that's the evil version of Thor. That kind of looks like Beta Ray Bill. Okay. It's on the back of it. So, I don't know. This book looks cool. I've never read it. Because like I said, I wanted to read the Guardians of the Galaxy. I wanted to finish reading the Guardians of the Galaxy run before I read this, but I never got a chance. Because I quit comics after reading some really bad books. Really bad modern books, yeah. So, that is it for our Marvel Space Comics. I wouldn't mind maybe doing doing another month theme where we do Marvel Space Comics, Marvel Space Month, and we just review Marvel Space books for that month. But I don't even know when that would be. Like, what's maybe I'll look up what sci-fi month what month sci-fi month is, because I know there's a thing called sci-fi month, and maybe we'll do it then, which I think that's in February. I don't even know. So I don't know. I would really like to reread some of these books. But if there's any of these books you want me to review, let me know in the comments. But like I said, I already reviewed Warlock by Jim Starlin, the complete collection. You can find that in the Marvel Comics comic book reviews on my playlist. Alright guys, I hope you enjoy these reviews, and if there's, like I said, if you want me to review any of the books, let me know. If there's any like Marvel Space Comics you think I should review, let me know in the comments, and we'll look into it. Alright guys, peace.